and Family, actor Jay Harrington gives us a look at his new USA comedy, Benched. And two-time Grammy winner John Cicada talks about going from Cuban refugee to having an illustrious music career in his new autobiography, A New Day. That's Tuesday, right here on Home and Family.
Andrea Martin kicked off her comedy career on the sketch series SCTV. That was back in the 70s and 80s. Wow. We have been laughing with her, laughing at her for years and years on stage and in screen. She's got a new book out now. And she's also reprising her Tony-winning performance in Pippin here in Los Angeles. You should see it if you're in town through November 9th. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
You and all your lady parts that you named your book.
Yes.
What is it? What's up with the title? What does that mean?
What is it? Well, I can't say what the original title was because that will definitely be bleak. That was Steve Martin's idea. Well, I can't say it. It's a family.
Yeah, family.
It's a family
Big time
show.
family.
So we went with lady parts, which is much more demure, discreet. You can imagine what the first title was.
Right, okay.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Nathan Lane and his partner came up with that because I was having a hard time with titles. So there you go. I thought it encompassed everything.
This picture of you encompasses everything about who you are. This is a joyous cover.
Thank you.
Yeah, that hides a lot of emotional things that went on in your life as well, because I understand that Martin Short said that if you read the book, it's going to break your heart. So what kind of...
There's certainly, you know, I started off writing the book as a collection of short stories, funny short stories. That's what HarperCollins wanted. And they were like Nora Ephron or David Sedaris. I love saying their names with my name. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, as I started to write it, it just more of me just was revealed, because when you've lived as long as I have, it's not all jokes and funny.
Sure.
So I think there's a good deal that is, I think it's all honest. So when you're talking about somebody trying to be authentic, you see every part of them. So I think that's what Marty was referring to.
You know, we hear this time we go when people come in and they share their stories, and they realize as they start writing that it's like, wow, do I want to say these things and put this out there? Was it sort of a cleansing process, a self-discovery process for you?
It wasn't cleansing, because I never thought as I was writing it that anybody would be reading it. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, why the hell did I write about that? Right. But when I was writing, I was just, you know, in my own room, in my own head. I had to write this book like there was an audience there, so I'd write a chapter and I'd get up and I'd perform it for imaginary people, so I could really make a true connection with people. So yes, I did discover something. There's a chapter in my book called Why I Fly to Atlanta to Get My Hair Cut, which I really do. It's a little, all right, I had to come to terms with that neuroses, and I wanted the world to know that I'm proud of it, and I don't judge me all you want. Because all women are a little crazy, because you go to a hairdresser, it's the best haircut, you say do it the next time, you go and it's completely different, and they say that's exactly what I did the last time. So I fly to Atlanta so I can avoid that kind of conversation.
Well, that's a big thing, because as we all know, the Atlanta airport is like the worst.
Wow, that's what. Should we talk about airports? Because that, I need a 25-hour segment, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
well, your little trams going around
everywhere.
Anyway, let me tell you this. As I was writing the story about how I fly to Atlanta, I realized that the neuroses stemmed from a relationship I had with my dad, who loved me but could never really say, I think you're fabulous up there, I love what you do. He would always say, well, I couldn't understand what you were saying, but I loved your hair. And then when he was in his 80s and I was in my 50s, we really talked about it, and he said, you know, I don't know what acting's about, but I know it looks pretty. And he grew up in the 40s and 50s when movie stars were everything. It was a beautiful movie. So it was very cathartic, and I didn't know when I was writing that story that I would discover that relationship with my dad so close to the end of his life. So that was beautiful.
You know, you worked with some amazingly talented people, and some of them are in your book. Some of them actually have commented from back in the SCTV days. I'm going to drop a couple of names.
Okay.
Let's do like name recognition. First thing that comes to mind.
Do you want me to say first word that comes into my mind?
First emotion.
First emotion. Well, I like that.
Okay.
The man wants the word from the head. The woman wants the emotion.
The heart. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
See how this works?
Let me see if I can do it a head and a heart.
Okay.
I'm so accommodating.
Ready? All right, let's clear the palate, cleanse. Here we go.
Okay.
John Candy.
Kind, genuine.
Okay. Catherine O'Hara.
Brilliant, genius.
Okay.
Eugene Levy.
Disciplined, honest.
And the man who made a comment on your book is Martin Short.
Completely insane.
He would love that.
I mean, John is gone, but you keep close relationships with all of these guys. Is it through the humor that the bond exists?
I think it's maybe initially, you know, we wrote and performed in the 70s, as you said, and there wasn't any social media then. There wasn't anything to distract us. We were working in the basement of an Edmonton television station in Canada. There were no distractions. We worked 17 hours a day. We were young. We were innocent. And there was nothing pulling us to be competitive. So that bond formed, just like your bond here is on the set. It feels like you're a family, and you know, you're sequestered here on this lot, and it really provides something beautiful. And I think that's why we're close, because it was a really formative time in our lives. And then I think humor kept us connected.
Sure, and I understand that some of them actually showed up to Pippin to see you in your play.
Yeah, Marty was there, and Catherine was there, and Steve Martin, who wrote a beautiful thing about my book, and Sean Hayes, a lot of wonderful friends.
This is a little different take on the role, though, right?
Of Bertha and Pippin?
Yeah.
It is, yes. So Pippin was written in the 70s, and Irene Ryan of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Granny.
Granny.
Right.
Granny didn't. I didn't want to do it, even though I could be a granny. I didn't want to do a cliched version of a grandmother.
Right.
So, you know, it's so interesting. When it was written 40 years ago, 66 is how old my character is, was older. Now people living to their 90s, so I thought I want to talk to...
Did you just spark her up a little bit?
Well, you know, I just made her not... let me see.
Oh my goodness, she's very sexy,
well,
womanly.
there she is.
Wow.
That's my character before she turns into the grandmother. But I made her proud, determined, feisty, that she was going to live the third chapter of her life, as everybody should, one moment at a time, and that it was a beautiful time to explore.
Third chapter, because what happens after that?
Oh, that would be great if it was a long third chapter, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have a little sneak peek. Let's take a look.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, of you in
that's right.
action. Pippin, look.
Fantastic.
It's a great show.
I heard Nia was at your premiere, Nia Vardalos?
Nia, yes, for my Big Fat Greek wedding.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're getting ready to do another one in 2015.
Really?
A sequel to
Is
it?
Tony going to be happy?
Oh, Tony will be so happy.
He's going to say, what do you mean you don't eat no meat? That's all right, I make lamb. He's going to be repeating that ad nauseum for another few
That's
years.
like your famous catchphrase now, that and the twin in your neck. Right?
Bobopsy. I buy a beep.
Did you make that up? Was that all improv when you did that?
Every word in that script was Nia's, but I interpreted it, and I took her words and tried to make them my own. But she wrote every word.
It's
Unlike
a classic
here, where
character.
our words aren't our own, because we have no idea what we're saying half the time.
That's so
which is
true.
good.
That's
Stick
true.
around. We're going to play a little bit. If you're available to get to Hollywood by November 9th, don't miss Andrea Martin and Pippin, and you can pick up a copy of that fabulous book. There it is.
Right there.
There it is.
There.
There it is. Andrea Martin's Lady Parts.
Every camera.
Every camera, there you
that's
go.
there. All right, next up, Cristina and I are hitting the stage. We're going to try our hand at stand-up comedy. Yes.